Now, reacting to the ADC's allegations, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, dismissed allegations of irregularities about its online pre-registration data for the ongoing nationwide continuous voter registration, that's the CVR, in the Southwest. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Commission's chairman, Rotimi Oyekomi, he said there is nothing extraordinary about the figures queried by the ADC. Now, to weigh in on ADC's concerns about the ongoing pre-voter registration exercise in the southwest of Nigeria, I'm now joined by Chile Igbawua, a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, Gorgeous.
Considering the fact that this is a pre-registration exercise being carried out by the electoral umpire, INEC, is it not too early to be concerned about the figures that we're seeing now? I mean, why the suspicion? Why the fear?
Well, I think from the statement coming from the ADC, first, I would say it's not too early. I mean, when you see something going wrong and you have apprehension to that effect, the best thing is to voice out as early as possible. Because if we allow you to proceed on to the end, you may just be finish up with the go to court, command, because the issue is that we have finished. So what do you want us to do? You can now go to court. So I think it was proper that ADC voiced out early in the day. And besides that, it was not just a matter of just those figures. Right. There was comparison with past registration trends. If within 4 years you didn't register what you're registering in 7 days, then there's cause for alarm. And I think that we're doing a good job by calling the attention of INEC that they should cross-check what they're doing. So I think we're right in doing so.
Well, understandably so. But one could also say, conversely, that it might just be that voter awareness is on the rise. After all, Nigerians are being told every day, look, pick your PVC, go register, pick up your PVC, because your voice must count. Don't you think it is possible that that is what is, driving this huge figures that you talk about, especially in a place like Osun State?
Well, in Osun State, for instance, we can talk about the fact that they have an off-season governorship election coming up. So that could be basis for enthusiasm in voter registration. But if it doesn't follow the trend that you've had in the past, the patterns that have come up in the past, then there's cause for worry. And then you also have the trend, not just in Osun, but in the Southwest, the entire of the Southwest, accounting for 67% of pre-registration the first nationwide week compared to the figures nationwide. Now, if we're talking about awareness, why is that awareness restricted to a section of the country? And I think that is why I fault the statement by INEC. They say their job is just to register those who, by the law, are eligible to register. They're not concerned about who registers more than the other. But I think that it should be interested.
Should INEC really be concerned about?
Yeah, they should be concerned. Who
registered more than the other?
They should find out, is it that we are doing better in those areas than in other areas? It should concern them. They should, by now, since they have released their figures for the past exercises, I expected that they should sit down and say, why is it always like this? And then to say, is it that we, INEC, are doing very well in these areas more than others? Or is it political parties that are undertaking greater, voter education in those areas than others? Because they have oversight responsibilities over political parties too. And they can give advice that, look, we have seen this trend over the years, and it looks that while we are doing well, you political parties are not doing well. Or maybe that we in-house are also not doing well. So I fault the statement that they are not concerned about why one part of the country should register more than the others. They should be concerned.
Have you sat down as ADC to actually compute these figures in a way that you come up with this concern?
Yeah, if we look at the statement which was issued, it contains figures.
Yeah,
and we spoke about comparing figures over 4 years with 1 week. So that's where the concern is coming from. INEC has shown that yes, to some extent, in terms of percentages, they have had this over the years. that they have had this exercise. Not in the magnitude that we had now. Even if that is so, we should also be concerned, okay, they've always led in the initial stages in these registrations. But what is responsible for this massive upsurge in those registration figures?
So what are you asking? What are you asking of INEC now?
We asked them to cross-check and see that things were going right. From their statement, they said they are satisfied that everything is going on.
Yes.
We congratulate them.
They said there's nothing extraordinary about the data, the online, figures that they're
yes,
saying.
they tried to release some figures. But I think too that for them to suggest that it was too hasty on the part of ADC is not a proper judgment. ADC was first to raise the alarm, but several other political parties have done so, followed suit, in also complaining that they are not sure that these figures ought to be so. Now,
but some other parties too have questioned, your distrust or your doubting of INEC.
I've heard
They're saying that, they don't see anything.
I've seen one party that
right.
that said they were also not comfortable with our early reaction. I've seen more who have said they also feel that they need to cross-check and be sure that things were going on. So I think the opinion or observation was not misplaced. Perhaps if we did not come up with this, INEC would not have the reason to come out to respond the way they responded.
But beyond raising the alarm, have you made a formal request of INEC to give you this forensic figures and the audit that you're asking for?
No, we requested there and they have seen it. They have every public office has a system by which they communicate to the citizens, and the citizens communicate back. So right. It's a feedback. They've got it and they have responded. So I think rather than saying it was too hasty, they should be commending ADC for calling attention to that.
As ADC, is it a reflection of the fact that the ADC or the political class generally, to a large extent, apart from the governing party, does not trust the electoral umpire, INEC?
Of course, that's one of the reasons. You know that only few people would say that they have full confidence in INEC. There are things that are supposed to do which they are not doing.
Like what?
Which is bringing up this. When, for instance, in this case, they have, at least they have come out to explain. In many cases, they do not, give sufficient information to the public. And then, when you have issues concerning them, the manner that they treat those matters, raise a lot of concern. In the small election, by-election that was held just 2 weeks ago, we had those issues, people snatching ballot boxes, INEC officials being caught with money. They could not explain the sources of those monies. And I think if people did not call attention to those issues, INEC would not get to know. Of course, INEC did not send their officials out to go and take monies from people. Right. But if they do it and the public doesn't raise alarm, they would not get to know. So what the public is doing is assisting the INEC with the feedback, which is what ADC2 has done.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Chile Igbawua is the ADC chieftain. Thank you very much for joining us. And it's important, of course, that you raise that alarm. Hopefully gets the electoral umpire to do the needful to engender confidence, not just by the ADC, but other political parties. And more importantly, Nigerians, who will have to go to the polls, who expect good governance. We have to say thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Ngozi.